with this, we will look into various examples and learn from them. I don't know how many of you know about Hippo, but I do believe that at least a good percentage of you, especially if you are from India, you would know. So Hippo is a company which sells wafers or chips, and Hippo has a interesting one. Is their marketing strategy or their campaign is like, they say that people who are hungry or people who are not full, not filled in their stomach, are typically angry, anxious, stressed, and thus not successful. And hippopotamus, having the biggest mouth, is never hungry. And if you eat hippo, you will never be hungry. Thus, you will be successful and satisfied and fulfilled. So that's their campaign, on which the whole messaging is based upon. However, if you notice this, their Twitter profile, you would find the way the English is written. So let me read this, the description of their profile. Hippo make munchies to fight hunger, because world be better if no one hungry. Hippo say anything that not kill hippo will only make hippo better hunger fighter. So if you notice, you would see, there's the way the English is written is, more of a broken English. And this English is not just here. The way they exchange messages, even their product packaging has that. Interestingly, we were doing a workshop, social media workshop in Delhi, and we talked about Hippo as an example, and one of the participants tweeted, and Hippo responded, said that, we are angry with you. Katti, in Hindi, that's what we say. And they said, you have not invited us. And I responded back, said, we'll be glad to have you be part of our workshop to present your case study. Why don't you just write a mail so that we can contact? And this is the mail I got. Dear Pradeep, Hippo say, first of all, Hippo happy to know you like Hippo, but Hippo want to know if you also joining Hippo army to fight hunger. Hippo also happy that you sharing Hippo effort with more big people in social media. If you need more information or recipe, you can contact. They have given the name of the person. He Hippo friend and also very helpful. Hippo say waiting to heat from you. Okay, bye-bye now. Papa, Hippo needs his computer. Love Hippo. So, the way you have seen the way they've written is kind of, that's the way they have the communication in their DNA. And what happens is when you talk to them on Twitter, you also start using that. And that has a much stronger recall. And how it influences is, what had happened to me was, after I had this exchange, I had gone to buy Lay's, and I saw Hippo packets were lying there. And that connected or recalled, that experience I had with them on Twitter and this mail. And I said, let me try Hippo. And I bought Hippo that day, and I liked it. Seems to be more healthier. And since then, I have moved to Hippo from Lay's. So if you look at that, that's one of the fundamental ways social media influences the decision of your prospect towards your product or service. As long as you can, engage with them in interesting and relevant conversations. And that's what brands are doing every time. Some of the brands are successful while others are not, because their focus has been largely on numbers. But if you're doing a good job in engaging with them, you will see results. That's fun. And what they do is then some of the influencers, some of the people, they send, like this hamper, I also got it, where they give that certified excellence in hunger fighters, certified hunger fighter. And typically, people who get this, I would say roughly, especially the ones who are on Twitter, I think at least 50% of the people, as sake of courtesy, capture the photograph and share it. And imagine the amount of buzz they create. And for them, sending 10 packets of Hippo is nothing, not even peanuts for them, but creates a huge influence. Then this is another example of a B2B company. If you notice, this page is managed by Dell. What's interesting is the name or the positioning of this community. It is social media for business powered by Dell. So what essentially Dell is doing here is, they were targeting businesses and earlier small and medium businesses, and they said, instead of our fans, which are like small and medium businesses on this page, would not be interested in listening about our product and services every day. And when you're thinking of building a community, you need to think of a lifetime. So instead of sharing with them the information about our products and services, given their pain point is sales and marketing, and social media is one of the best opportunities, we would be better placed to share interesting tips, trends, case studies of social media. And Dell as a company has huge amount of experience in doing that. So Dell, that's what they share. And as these companies use those examples, case studies to grow, when they have a need for a laptop or a product or service which Dell has to offer, they would at least consider Dell. So that's another way you see social media helps influence decision of your prospects. This was another interesting example where technology is being used. This is a application by Titan called HTSE. HTSE is a watch which works on light. If you go to the Titan's page, you will see this Titan watches in the HTSE Wear a Watch application. And if you see this application, how it works is it also works on light. So this area will not be visible to you unless you put a torch in front of your webcam. If you don't have a webcam, you have to drag some of the light source, and this green battery starts appearing green, and this watch appears. Then you have an option to create a personalized picture, and then you share it. So what they are doing is, the experience of that this watch works on light, they are giving or sharing that experience with you. So that's a very interesting way, for a brand to have their customers experience, and that in a way influence for them, to make a decision if they are interested in this kind of innovative product. Another way social media helps influence is, there are two examples, one of our own. This is a site called 24 Hours Loop, which is into appearance. Typically on sites, we see testimonials which are written by, directly written, and we have a tendency to disbelieve. So instead of doing that, they said, how about posting real testimonials or true testimonials from real people? And what they did was they integrated the tweets onto the website. So what you can do is, if you have a Twitter account, you can favorite a tweet. So all the tweets which are talking positively about you, you favorite them. And you can take the RSS of, which is like a feed of the favorited tweets, and integrate on your website. And that real time, those tweets will come. If you favorite another, it will come. The same way we have integrated as well on our website. So if that is there, if someone lands on, then their tendency of trusting these testimonials is incredibly high. And how it helps is, so in this case, Twitter not only helps a brand on Twitter, but even more important, you are doing so much to get people on your website. You're doing SEO, you're doing SEM, you're doing email marketing, you're doing offline print and everything to get traffic on your website. Here, using this integration of Twitter, you not only got value from Twitter, but can significantly increase the conversion or the effectiveness of rest of your marketing campaigns. So that's another way social media can influence, not just on social media, but rest of your marketing campaigns as well. This is another personal example for us. I hope some of you know that LinkedIn some time back started offering or providing company page. Earlier it was company profile, there was nothing much to do, but they changed that to company page. And that's free, anyone can have it. On the company page, what you can do is, you can list your products and services. And those products and services, you can get recommendations or testimonials from your satisfied customers. Before this company page, a testimonial could only come to an individual profile. And after this, you have this, and which would be limited to that individual that has moved on. There is no central place. Now you have a central place where you can have your satisfied customers share their feedback. And we have this page on our LinkedIn company page. And here we have around 55 recommendations. And today if someone asks us, how good, bad are your workshops? I don't have a better place than sharing this link. And that has significantly helped us improve conversions for people towards registering into our workshops. And interestingly, one of the things which had happened to us was we got lead for a series of corporate workshops. It was almost $40,000 worth assignment of doing series of workshops for hundreds of people for a large media group, and that had come through LinkedIn. So, those are different ways LinkedIn has helped us acquire customers, and it is happening almost for every workshop. Then how a viral video can influence. I don't know how many of you know, but this is a very interesting viral video of a company called BlendTech, and he is the CEO. I cannot show you this video because of the bandwidth, but if you go to YouTube and search for Will It Blend, you would see this video where they are blending an iPhone. And imagine the number of views this video has received. Can you guess the number of views this video would have received on YouTube? It is blending an iPhone. How many views this one video would have received? Some of you may be going to YouTube and find out, but just a guess. Don't worry, your iPhone or your phone will not get blended. So we'll wait for a few seconds and let's see some answers to that. And my recommendation is keep guessing. Even if you are incorrect, you will have a better recall. And by the way, I will share with you the link to this presentation, and you will also have the recorded version of this webinar. You don't need to worry about the content of this presentation. Any guesses? And interestingly, they have blended number of products and they have used the timings. So one of the reasons why this video is so popular is they blended something like iPhone or a phone. And they have blended an iPad, an iPod, and this video was more popular than even iPhone, and people searched for it. So why this video became so popular, one of the reasons was that it was unexpected. A phone will get blended. Then it's use the popularity of iPhone and then iPad. So we got 40,000, 1 million, 65,000. Great, thanks guys, thanks. So the number of views, this is also an old number, is over 10 million. And they have a Will It Blend channel on YouTube, which has close to 100 million views. And more important, they are growing 1,000%. And social media today, which carried one of their case studies, said that their growth is primarily due to Will It Blend's video series. So blending is okay. Saurabh, you asked blending. So they are in the company which have the blenders or blending machines. So here what they are doing is they are showcasing how powerful the blade or technology of their blenders are. So which is directly relevant to their brand, and they're growing 1,000%. So that's another way a YouTube video can influence. Let me move it forward. This is another interesting example of a small widget called Just Uno. What happens is at the end of, if you are an e-commerce company and towards the end of the check-in or the shopping cart, you can have this where you give 3 options for people. If they like it, like your page, if they do Google Plus or they tweet, they get additional 5% discount. So the moment they said like and they share, here the promo code will come. Or even if they join your mailing. So this is at the final step where people decide to abandon or not, and industry average is around 60% of shopping cart abandonment rate. So what it does is it first significantly reduces a conversion or abandonment rate and increases the conversion, because at that point of time, one of the reasons why people go off is they have a doubt, is there any other place I can get more discount? And when you give this discount, you decide the discount you give, and there are more options you have. You are trying to bridge that gap. So this can, significantly influence. One is their own conversion. More important, when they are liking it, Google Plus tweeting it, they are the customers who towards the end, while buying the product, are influencing their friends and associates towards, your product. So great influence. But this is another example of technology I want to share, though that is not related to any way customer acquisition, but something which a significant amount of publishers and, more important, e-commerce players worldwide are using, but not in India. So we run this community called Not Just Score. It is around cricket. So typically you go to portals to get score about cricket. You follow the game. However, in our case, what we are up to doing is we have you, not just follow the game, so you have the score and everything, but most important, you have fun around the game. which typically you have either in stadium or in front of TV when you are sitting with friends. And one of the key reasons why people get fun on this platform, not just score, is because they have an opportunity to interact with other cricket lovers and with their friends. So they can share pictures, they can do chit chat, people can react, people can like. Now, why I'm sharing this? So one of the fundamental challenge we had earlier was how to identify when two people are on our platform, how to identify if they are friends earlier or not. Unless they follow here on the platform someone else, we have no idea if the other person is their friend. So what we have is we have login through Facebook. Some of you might have already noticed or would know very well that there is an option for any website to give a login to their users through Facebook. So that's called FB Connect. So when people log in through Facebook to a site or a platform like this, the platform knows who you are and who your other friends are on the platform. So imagine an e-commerce site when you land to that and log in using Facebook, and that is that these friends of yours bought these products on these days. That can significantly help that e-commerce platform influence your decision because it is able to personalize based on your friends' interest what they did, and that's what we are doing here. So if some of you are interested in cricket, I know it's a bad, unfortunately India has not got into finals, otherwise tomorrow would be a great day. But I invite you to, experiment, try it out, and Facebook Connectors, that's what you will observe. And that's what any of you, if you have a large traffic on your website, you may be an e-commerce player, you may be a pure publisher, you have an opportunity to influence the behavior or action of your visitors because you are able to have the social graph of people while they are there on your platform. Now let's look into some example of ways social media helps do lead generation. So we were doing our workshop in Singapore, and this was an interesting example we saw. On their landing page, and now the landing page does not exist, they have this first page which says, if you like us, we will tell you a mystery code, and you get 20% discount using that mystery code. So once you like it, this changes to this. Says, simply say the code words, get wild at night safari and enjoy 20% off. So imagine you are standing in a queue and someone says, get wild at night safari, and that person gets a discount on the ticket counter. So how it helps, one is this becomes a starting point for lead generation. They are able to track how many of their fans are converting to buy the tickets. And it's a great incentive for people to like the page. So it's doing multiple things and nothing technical, just 2 images. So if you are a business which has offline presence and you want to see how you can integrate online and offline, this is a great way where the lead probably gets generated online and the fulfillment happens offline. This was another very interesting example what Timex did or Titan did. They had this fantastic offer. They were giving 40% off to everybody, and they said our fans get the additional 15%. And how it happens is what you have to do is you have to generate the code. So you click on generate code, you give your mobile telephone number, and you get a voucher as an SMS. And in this campaign, they were expecting X number of redemptions, and someone told me they got 50X redemptions of what they were expecting. And why it worked was, the integration of mobile, because they got voucher as an SMS. And while people were outside in the market, they were looking at buying a watch or any of the products, they thought, they have additional 15% as a fan, and that's in the mobile, so let us use it. So that's another way, Facebook helped generate the leads, which finally got fulfilled in a store. This is another way brands are, leveraging the influence of influencers. Like I got this message sometime back from Gillette. Would you like to receive a sample of our latest product, Gillette Fusion? Please direct message. Direct message is private message, your contacts. So typically, the biggest advantage of platforms like Twitter is you have access to anyone, and you can identify who the influencers are. And when you do that, you can have a huge opportunity to reach out to influencers And typically, anyone who gets a product like this, as a courtesy again, would share it. So for Gillette, even sending to 1,000 people a product which is, 300 as a market price for them, there will be a fraction of that cost, is nothing compared to the amount of buzz and influence they can generate. So that's an opportunity for large brands who are looking at reaching out to influencers and leveraging their influence to spread a word about their product or service. Similar to that, or the way Twitter works, and I think that's a great opportunity in India, there is a tool called Cloud. Cloud essentially measures the influence of someone primarily on Twitter, and you get a cloud score. Anyone who's on Twitter can get a cloud score, and that's a public cloud score for anyone. Now, a Wafers, I think Glaze or someone did a campaign in US. They said anyone who has more than 60 cloud score, tweet it and with some hashtag, and we will give you that many packets of our chips free. Say someone having more than 60 cloud score typically has few thousand followers. For a company like that, sending even few hundred of packets would be peanuts compared to the buzz they can generate. So it helps generate significant amount of leads through that, people who are already on Twitter and have an influence. And I think you can do contests around cloud, and I have not seen that happening in India, and I truly believe that's an opportunity which exists. And similarly, for small and medium businesses, even technology-wise, cloud can be a great way to reach out, typically because technical people on Twitter have higher cloud score. They are, geeky, typically Twitter has a geeky crowd, and it's a great way to reach out to the influencers. Now, how does lead generation? Another way happens is you can run pure ads. It could be a LinkedIn ad, it could be a Facebook ad. When someone clicks on an ad, you can have a landing page. Like in this case, we run this ad for our workshops. We are targeting people above certain age, only a particular location. When they click on that, they come to a landing page where they fill the form and lead generated. So we have complete end-to-end tracking of how much money we spent on Facebook ad, how many leads we generate, and how much conversion happened out of that. Similarly, LinkedIn can play a role. So that way, it's a pure lead generation campaign. You don't have to do it just for branding. It's pure lead generation. Then let's look into some examples of where direct transaction or kind of a sale happens. Similarly, like we do lead generation, a lot of e-commerce players use Facebook ads for final conversion, in the sense that they run Facebook ads. When people click on that, it goes to an online store, and people complete their conversion. And Google has Google Analytics, which has something called e-commerce tracking module, which can track the source of any transaction. So if a product is bought, Google Analytics can track where the visitor came from. So if you are an e-commerce company and you have the e-commerce tracking enabled, you can track exactly how much of revenue came from a particular source, and you can run a Facebook ads to be able to measure till how much of revenue you got out of that. So it could be a pure sales or transaction oriented campaign. Similarly, Facebook post, like if you see Infibeam or e-commerce players, anyone who has something which can be sold online, you can do the same doing just the wall post. Especially if you are in the business of e-commerce or deals, because every post of yours can be an advertisement. Like eBay has something called daily deals. So their everyday post is a deal. When people click on the link from the Facebook wall as a post to the page, they are able to track how much of that. So there you will be able to measure the ROI of your community. So fortunately for those businesses, it's easier to measure because you know how much time you spend, how much money you spend to acquire the fans, how much money you are spending to engage with them, and you know how much revenue. Leave apart, so the branding and recall is another, and the lifetime value is even more. But you'll be able to have a quantifiable assessment of how much of revenue you are able to generate with this community, which is 100,000 fans, and it may reach to 1 million, and then you know this month how much of revenue came through your wall post. This is an interesting example called Tweak to Order. Anyone of you know about this? So this is a company called Fastos, which was largely in Pune, now in Mumbai as well, which sells something called kari kebab or hot rolls. Now, a friend of mine had implemented the system for them, which is like, say when you call Domino's, Domino's typically have your phone number registered, and based on that they know your name as well as your address. Similarly, when you are a customer to Fastos, along with your Twitter ID, which is unique, they have your phone number and address. And then what you have to do is, you will say @Fastos, which is their Twitter ID, and write 4 kebabs. That's it. Because from your unique Twitter ID, they know your address, they know your phone number. If you want to deliver the product at some other place, you will probably put a keyword they have defined, and because that keyword they will be able to see, they will realize that you want this to be delivered at some other place, they will give you a call and then deliver it. Now what's the value of this system? One is people who are on Twitter, and I'm sure many of you are active on Twitter, making a phone calls is significantly more inconvenient than doing a tweet. Second, it's a cool, it's trendy, like no one else is doing. And most important, when you are tweeting, it's like you are buying a product from a company and you are letting all friends of yours that I have bought this product, because your followers get to see your tweets. So that way, if you see, there can't be a better brand endorsement, especially from the customers directly. And even for them, it's even better way to manage their CRM. They can have 20 tweets coming at the same time, but if they have to have a phone, they will need to have parallel phone lines. They will have a documented order being placed. If someone is tweeting, there is a documented order. They can process it. There is a very less chance of human error in that. So it's a great way to leverage platforms like Twitter to get sales happen from the existing customers. Then there are enough examples of end-to-end shopping happening on Facebook. Though I think there are a lot of discussions about is it effective or not, but the fact of the matter is that's possible. Like JCPenney in US was one of the first companies to have the end-to-end payment gateway integrated on Facebook. This is Carlton London, which has again end-to-end shopping on Facebook. So there are easier ways to just integrate, and that's possible. So you can have final shopping happen on Facebook. Or what you can do is, like Cafe Coffee Day, what they do is, the goodies and the merchandise which they sell at their retail outlets, they have a, online shop on their Facebook page. They have over 1 million fans. Till this phase where you get to see the product, the price, when you click on buy, it takes you to their site. But till you choose what you want to buy, that happens on Facebook. So that's a great way to have your fans be converted to your customers. And you can do full payment gateway integration, but if that is a lot of work, this point you can do it. Finally, example of the small restaurant called Gunpowder Restaurant. I'm sure especially if you're from Delhi and South Delhi, you would know this is a restaurant based out of Hoskas village, which sells South Indian food and very interesting, very delicious food. And I remember, so I written for them in Wall Street Journal in one of my articles sharing their case study. And after that, I thought, let me visit. I went to the restaurant, and first I was surprised that it is not at a very good location. You have to walk 4 floors, walk up the stairs. I reached there at 7 p.m. 7:30 it was about to open, and a significant number of tables were already reserved. And then I saw that they have a dedicated person who takes booking from Facebook. And they don't have a large community. They just, I think, have 3,500, 4,000 fans. So they are able to influence, or they here, actually they are like, if you see this message, says, hi, we are NCRC group, want a booking for Saturday for 15 people. Is this possible? So, here if you see the pure direct sale happening, and they do that booking, they have a dedicated person for that, right? So I think as examples, those are the case studies I wanted to share. What I will do is, as I shared, this is a link to this presentation.